Hi, so I'm at an Airbnb, one of the many places that I've stayed in the past 2.5 weeks since leaving my house due to mold. Just want to talk about what it's like having, I've got a lot of acne right now, what it's like having mold sensitivity. It's weird because it just came out of nowhere. Like, I wasn't really sensitive to mold that I could tell for the whole time I had Lyme until I got a really big exposure to it in my house. And even up until a certain day, I wasn't even that sensitive to it. Like, it was just on September 7th, I had been sleeping in that moldy apartment for 2 nights, and the mold was getting really bad, and the water damage was really bad. And then, like, ever after that, now I'm super sensitive. It's like it switched, and like suddenly, maybe my C4A went way up, and suddenly, like, I smell mold all these places I didn't used to smell it. I get affected by it all these places I didn't used to, and it's just like 50% of my life is involved in like figuring out where mold is and how to avoid it and how to keep it down and like how to keep it off my clothes especially. So here's what it feels like. When it was first happening to me, I felt really like high or something, or I felt like it was really hard to sleep, um, because I think my histamine was really high, and anytime I try to sleep in a moldy environment I find it very hard to sleep. um, and then also I felt kind of uninhibited and drunk, and I also had a headache and I was nauseous, and I felt dizzy. So that went on for a little while, and then that started to go down. But whenever I would get re-exposed, I would get like a sudden headache. Oh, the other thing is my breathing was impaired. Like my lungs just wouldn't open up very far. And like, when I went to the doctor, and she'd have me do the deep breaths, and like she's like, "Is that as deep as you can breathe?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that's as much as it opens up." And the same thing happened to my boyfriend. So something happens where like the lungs constrict in them, or I don't know exactly what it is. The other thing is that I would get this feeling like I was gonna die because my brain was low in oxygen, and so I got in this weird space where it's like I didn't care about anything, and like I was thinking a lot about like like being okay with dying or something. And so I started taking Cholestipure and Welchol, and it was like within about 15, or actually just within a couple minutes after taking the first dose of Welchol, I started feeling more like my old self and not feeling so drunk. And it was funny because I almost missed the drunk feeling because it was helping me get through all the stress. Uh, so this is such an interesting issue because a lot of people, I've been describing it as blah blah blah, now I'm more sensitive to mold, but it's really, I think sensitive is the wrong word, because sensitive implies like that you're picky and hypersensitive, and I'm not, you're just sensitive to something that wouldn't bother, it's not dangerous, and, where I think the better way to describe it is that it's like, I don't know how to describe it really, it's that if you get a massive biotoxin exposure, something happens where subsequent exposures are more dangerous. Is maybe the way that I would put it. That your body is in a critical state, and it's of utmost importance that you stay away from the exposures and that you detoxify yourself, because if you keep adding on more, you can get into worse condition. So I think if you describe it as you're just, oh, your sensitivity went up, people are like, okay, well, how do we get your sensitivity to go down? And I've seen articles about this saying the sensitivity is not the problem. The sensitivity is there to protect you so that you don't overblow your body, your capacity for the biotoxins, I guess. And so, yeah, I'm trying to think of how to describe it to my boss because I haven't really told him yet that I can't go in my office without a mask on. So, anyway, some people might be getting